Although Lauren Graham's least favorite Gilmore Girls storyline was atypically dark and dramatic, creator Amy Sherman Palladino was right to note that the story had to happen sooner or later. The cast of Gilmore Girls all got their opportunities to shine throughout the show's 7 seasons and its Netflix revival. However, that doesn't mean that the cult dramedy had no frustrating, unnecessary, or plain annoying plots. One pointless Gilmore Girls story seemed to promise a lot of growth for Rory and Logan, only to lead nowhere. Similarly, while 2016's Gilmore Girls revival A Year in the Life wasn't as bad as some of its critics claimed, Lorelai's solo attempt to complete the Pacific Crest Trail could easily have been cut. Even series star Lauren Graham admitted that she struggled with some of the show's storylines during an appearance on the Call Her Daddy podcast, via YouTube. Asked about plots that she had a hard time getting behind, Lorelai's actor didn't cite Gilmore Girls' bizarre Lorelai and Christopher marriage, but instead went with an earlier, equally controversial plot. Lorelai and Rory's separation did need to happen in Gilmore Girls. Rory's most divisive plot had to happen despite Lauren Graham's reservations. Graham said she wasn't happy with the year that Rory and Lorelai spent fighting and not talking. However, the actor noted that series creator Amy Sherman Palladino reassured her the storyline was a necessary part of the show's narrative. Not only was Sherman Palladino right to note that even a show as cozy as Gilmore Girls needs some kind of conflict, but she was also correct to note that it is natural for people to have disagreements at times, including parents and children. Rory was making huge life decisions that Lorelai didn't agree with at the time, such as dropping out of Yale and sleeping with Dean. As such, it's understandable and almost unavoidable that the mother-daughter duo finally had a meaningful, significant fight in Season 5. Furthermore, since viewers missed out on some pivotal parts of the Gilmore Girls story, such as Lorelai raising a younger Rory, this plot was necessary to highlight both their individual flaws and their growth. Their shared stubbornness and Lorelai's immaturity were a big part of what kept the fight alive for so long. The problem with Lorelai and Rory's separation isn't that it happened. Gilmore Girls needed this feud, but the plot didn't have to last so long. If Lorelai and Rory had been more mature and less obstinate, their feud would never have broken down some of their codependency. This gave both characters room to grow and, for Rory, was important as part of forcing her out of the star's hollow bubble where she and everything else seemed perfect. Time away from Lorelai made her confront reality a little bit more, albeit via a relationship with the very privileged Logan, and introduced her to a world outside her sheltered upbringing. That said, like the Gilmore Girls revival A Year in the Life, this plot shouldn't get away without criticism. The real issue with Season 5's feud is that it went on for too long, so the fight did end up feeling a bit more forced the longer it lasted. In a way, this was also true to life, as the longer something is left unsaid, the more entrenched and stubborn people can become. However, scenes like Lorelai and Rory's childish display at Sookie's baptism were just infuriating to watch, making Gilmore Girls feel more stagnant than honest.